I haven't thought of a thing to say about this great feature. Do you just see it like, what do you say? Sometimes that happens to me. I'm like, what do I say? This man, well, I know that everyone here, every time that he's around, they're like, oh, will you sing something for us? Because they always like to hear the poetry that he has, his lyrical rhyming poetry that he has, but they also love to hear him when he decides, oh, I'm going to sing a song for you at the same time. And it's always a treat, always a treat to have this man come up. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please give it up for a great feature from Dan Cleary. Woo!
I want to thank everybody for coming out on such a rainy night. And anyway, I'll begin with a little song, okay? Okay. This is one I haven't sung before at any open mic, but I'm not even sure of the words, but a long time ago, about 1,000,000 years BC, the best things in life were absolutely free, but no one appreciated a sky that was always blue, and no one felt elated at a moon that was always new. So it was planned that they should vanish now and then, and we must pray to have them come back again. That's what storms are made for, so we should never be afraid for. Every time it rains pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure that your umbrella is upside down. Trade it for a packet of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me.
Oh, wow.
All right, this is called time. How do you hold back time when like a breeze it strays through this and every rhyme, as hours turn into days and days turn into weeks, and so on without end, blanching all rosy cheeks, bucking the latest trend, turning what's now in fashion, though none the worst for wear, into some ancient passion, a thing of yesteryear. Time is the earnest traveller, a pilgrim without pause, journeying on forever, obeying hidden laws. A source of endless mystery, it puzzles every hour, embracing all of history and beyond with its power. That it should also linger with one now sitting here, a solitary singer, is at least cause for cheer, before again it canters, pleased it can only stop under these drafty rafters a moment now to hop upon a passing freight car. Tomorrow, maybe Rome or Budapest or Paris. It hasn't got a home, but all the while it leaves us older and wiser yet, and every dawn it sees us a little nearer death. This is a poem that I wrote for the balloonist Steve Fawcett, who traveled around the world in a balloon from a little place in Australia. It's called Ode to Flight. What poet would not envy you, slipping the bonds of earth the while, to sally forth into the blue, the round earth's bright encircling robe, and travel on mile after mile in glorious flight in a balloon, sustained by your own strength and power, the winds of chance and good fortune, to circumnavigate the globe and be a king of sky and air. I dreamed of such things as a boy, and thought of places I would go if only I could learn to fly, or build a plane to lift me up and let me view the world below, as I afloat upon the breeze and balancing my tender craft would navigate with perfect ease the atmosphere without mishap, although the world might think me daft. Or sometimes I would dwell for hours upon the changes I would make, if only I had superpowers and I could fly anywhere at will. I'd tear along like some blue streak up there among the clouds, up there among the billowy clouds, and know what freedom flying brings in its surreal release from crowds. And I would surely know the thrill, the ecstasy of flying things. I'd pace along with limber step as if small wings were at my heels, or sometimes take a forward leap as if I could be like Jack Flash. I used to wonder how it feels to fly straight upward like a bird and roam the sky for all to see. Was there some spell, some magic word that would enable me to dash swiftly between points A and B? I dreamed long hours without an end. Who knows the many hours I dreamed? Ever so often I would spend entire days thinking how I might launch myself out upon the wind. It seemed an easy thing to do when it already had been done. I thought of all the others who, in their own way, had dreamed of flight and had approached it with a run, a cursory hop, skip and jump, before they too, like Icarus, fell and hit the ground with a big bump, their wings all crumpled into bits, a poor, pathetic, kite-like thing, kite-like shell. And then, one day at Kitty Hawk, like a miracle it occurred. Man who had stood upright to walk and slowly learned to use his wits began to fly then like a bird. Things went much faster after that. Development was swift and sure. improvements followed fast on what had fascinated from the start and always had a great allure. Soon planes were flying everywhere, until today they span the skies and dominate the light blue air in ways no bike, no horse or cart could ever hope to equalize. Yet somehow, in some way, we lost that first connection that we had with what we always prized the most, the simple, natural urge to fly, to rise above, to be made glad, to move about both up and down, or to move forward as one wished, to travel to another town, to skirt the clouds above, to high o'er hill and dale and not feel rushed. Pure flight to me is wind alone. It's piloting a flimsy craft, somehow or other on your own, into some new strange element. It lifts it with a certain heft and sets it on a steady course. It's floating silently as fluff, without a great degree of force or consequent rough sediment that comes from oil and other stuff. Pure flight is what it was back then, and what you gallantly portrayed in 5 attempts before this one. Something that's individual and has the air of being homemade. Something that's highly dangerous and takes a large degree of thrust and an indomitable will that will not bide with endless fuss. Heading due east into the sun, you set out on that windswept day. Your marvelous journey had begun. A sweet elation filled your breast. Now you were clear and on your way. You rose up in the surging drafts, the bouncing currents of your dream, like feather down that softly wafts itself aloft when slightly pressed and latches on to the air stream. You shot along at a brisk pace. The currents of the air were fleet. Soon you had passed the very place where you had faltered once before and came close almost to defeat. The silent heavens took you in. They wrapped you round and held you close. At night you felt freed from the din, out on a sea without a shore of what would bother your repose. And then, was it in Kalgoorlie, back in Australia, you set down? I'm sure it's true, it's not a lie. Having gone clear around the world, you landed near this little town. What did you tell them of your trip that seemed touched with the fabulous once you had got them in your grip, as they listened to your tale unfold, seated around you in the grass? Some of my love poems for all the acts and my old girlfriends who haven't turned up tonight. This is called at a rooftop party, the 4th of July. While fireworks exploded above our heads in wondrously rich displays and shows, flowering in spectacular greens and reds and rampant blues and yellows as they rose, and zigzag flares and bombs of every sort came spirocheting madly out of the sky, filling the air with many a sharp retort. In silence on the roof sat you and I, attempting conversation, making forays into the unknown, dangling occasional lures to see what we could tempt from the shadows, like two experienced veterans of the wars. We managed to attain a moment's truce, a matter now I endlessly peruse. This is called Rainbow. I saw a rainbow, and I thought of you, appearing like a rainbow in my life, when I was down and done and almost through, had felt life's bitter coldness like a knife. A lovely rainbow, almost like a truce that brought for now hostilities to a close between me and my demons, hanging loose to be no more beleaguered by those foes. The sad old world stands beautiful and right, at least for now. Who knows how long it will last? I kept this leaping rainbow in my sight and wished on it as if to hold it fast a little while, that all might be revealed and we might thrive and our two fates be sealed. All right, let's see. All right, this is another poem. It's called Hallelujahs. Birds send their hallelujahs to the sky from pews well hidden high up in the trees, making me lift my head as I go by, and I might hearken to their melodies, join, however briefly, along with them in their hosannas to the heavens above, filled in their thankfulness for every stray sunbeam, filled with the fullest rapture now of love. For once I know exactly how they feel, filled with an equal clamour in my breast of boundless joy, brimming with mass appeal, as this small rhapsody might yet attest, formed with the utmost care of tone and pitch, for her to whom I'm closely now allied, that it might help create for me a niche enough to draw her closer to my side. All right, I'll just read a couple of more then. I'd like to actually read some of my translations from Petrarch. He was the great Italian poet, and he wrote. He was inspired by the beauty of a woman that he saw one morning in church. It was anyway the first canzone. It's canzone 1. You who hear in my sonnet's tidy span the sounds and sighs in which I soaked my heart when I was but a juvenile in part and had not yet in truth become a man. For those times when I just went on and on, hauling behind me like a lumbering cart love's pains and sorrows dutifully to the mart. I humbly beg ask your pity and your pardon. Of late it surely has come home to me what I had not dared look at until now, finding myself held in such low esteem by the populace. All is vanity, and what has lately been my shame to know, life's dancing pleasures but a passing dream. This is number 2. Like a lounging archer awaiting his time and place, love poised his arrow for to strike again, biding his time until the moment when he might pull off at last the coup de grace. My strength was elsewhere. I had turned my face, preoccupied with other things, and then, before I knew it or could rouse my men, he broke through my defence to my disgrace. By that assault thrown into disarray, it had no chance to return fire for fire and to defend me with strong force of arms, or even help me to get up out of the way, up a hill somewhere, till I was well in the clear and could escape, heeding those first alarms. All right. Okay, I've got one more. This is number 12. Of all the beasts who dwell upon the earth, with the exception of those who hate the sun, the time for labour is during the day. But when the heaven lights up the night with stars, some head for home and some sleep in the woods to restore their strength till the next day's dawn. Yet I, when the many-rayed and lovely dawn arrives, to banish the shadows from the earth and awaken all the animals in the woods, continue my copious weeping in the sun. Even when above my head the flaming stars come out, I go on weeping for day. As the evening returns to crush another day, and my long shadow points to another dawn, forlornly I gaze aloft at the cruel stars that have fashioned me out of feeling earth. I curse the day I first caught sight of the sun that has turned me into a bedraggled man of the woods. It's hard to believe it possible that the woods contain such a wild creature, either night or day, as she for whom I weep in shadow and sun. Nor am I saved by early sleep or by dawn, for though my body is composed of lowly earth, my high assumptions, my high aspirations are directed towards the stars. Before I turn to you, O lucent stars, or return once more to the amorous woods, my body embraced by the compassionate earth, might she show understanding to me for one day. It would restore in me the vigor of dawn. It would grant me enrichment at the setting of the sun. Might she be there at the setting of the sun, and seen by none except the luminous stars, for one night only. And let there be no dawn. Let her not be transformed into green woods, running from my arms, as on the day Apollo chased her down here on earth. But I'll be buried in the woods, dry earth, and day will startle with hosts of small stars before the sun rise to greet such a lovely dawn.
Very much. And now I told you that, some compatriots of mine with singer-songwriter night said, hey, I want to be able to do something, so can I do it afterward? And I said, well, of course you can. So I've got Jesse and I've got Billy that are going to come up here, and I have no idea what they're going to do. I have no idea if they're going to do a song, or if they're going to do a poem, or if they're going to strip. I have no idea. And I'm the one with personal nudity, and I'm like, what? That's a poetry book. No. But I do want to say, actually, to somebody who actually just bought my final copy of 100 Haikus, if you guys don't know anything about this, the reason why it was called personal nudity is not because of this superimposed drawing, which is from my JanetCruz.com page that I made look naked. The background image of these books, of all of them, is actually from a collage from my mammogram. And I was like, well, you're getting to see part of me, or somehow it just happens to be the inside of privates of me or something. And I was actually thinking, because the release date corresponded with the book release, and I had so many people that were reading haikus, there were 40 of them. I've been doing video like mad for them for the past 2 weeks. But because I noticed with these books that I was going to have video links afterward, and I'm like, I've got all these ones to add, so I might be adding a bunch to this. So if you guys are interested in a copy, you can buy. I've got many copies of these little ones, so the proof copies off my hands now. Otherwise, this might actually improve and get a few more video links to it afterward. I have to say, everybody's here so extra freaking groovy, awesome. It's blowing my mind. So I hope every 2 weeks, if you want to know the schedule, because I started saying the dates before, www.chaoticarts.org/thecafe. And you can, sorry, I have to sing because I'm just crazy. Or if you want to know me, Janet Kuipers, you can find me on Gmail or... No, well, yeah, you can find me on Gmail, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me everywhere, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. But You can also look at the schedules because I've actually got all these little billboards and I put all the future dates coming up, and the next one that's coming up is July 16th. Although we've got dates through October on this listing. But in just 2 weeks, we've got Jerry Pendergast that's coming up for me. So if I don't see you all on Monday night for Bouncer and Me featuring Agile, Jack Staff for Waiting for the Bus, please. Otherwise, I look forward to see you all in 2 weeks. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.